Hey guys, me again. So what we're going to do today is a warm-up. We're going to also talk about just some normal warm-up techniques to kind of help you understand that even if you're doing your own warm-up, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. The only thing you will need for this warm-up is some sort of rope. If it's a stretch rope, if it's a bungee, just anything like that that you can use to kind of wrap around your foot. We're going to be stretching with it a little bit later. The first thing that we're going to do is about a 2-minute or so jog, and about every 30 seconds we're going to do something with activity. If you don't want to go outside and run, you can also just do jumping jacks inside. You can do standing lunges inside. You can do jump roping inside. You can do something else for about those 2 minutes, just something to kind of get your heart kind of racing just a little bit, kind of get that blood flowing, and then we'll move into the other exercises. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start running. Okay, the first activity we're gonna do is side shuffling. So if you don't know what a side shuffle is, it is just this. Okay, and let's keep running. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is low skip scoop. So that is just a skipping motion where every 2 or 3 skips you go down into a lunge and you scoop the ground. So you're just right like this. If you can't do that, that's okay. You can just do walking lunges, go as deep as you can, whatever it is that you need to do, just to kind of get your quads working a little bit. Okay, and the next thing that we're gonna do is a backward skip. So anytime we do anything backwards when warming up, you always want your heel coming to your butt, whether you're running, whether you're skipping. no matter what the exercise is, if you're going backwards, you should always bring your heel to your butt. The reason is because the whole purpose going backwards is to warm up your hamstrings. And if your heels are low and you're just being quick stepped or anything like that, you're not actually doing anything to help you warm up. So you bring your heels to your butt so that you're actually activating your hamstring. So it's gonna look like this. And you're just gonna do that a little bit. You're not gonna do it very much. Again, just to kind of get your hamstrings working and warmed up. And I'm gonna start running back. Okay, and the last thing that we're gonna do is just skipping with arm swings. So that's exactly what it sounds like. You're just forward skipping and you're circling your arms. And yeah, that's it for the beginning part of the warm-up. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we're gonna need our rope, whatever you found, and we're gonna do something called active isolated stretching. So active isolated stretching is where you are contracting the muscle that is the opposite of the one being stretched for a very short period of time, and you're relaxing and you continue to do it. So for example, the first one that we're gonna do is our calves. So you're gonna take your rope and you're gonna wrap it around the top of your foot, and for just 1 second you're going to pull back on your calf, and at the same time you're going to be contracting this anterior tib muscle here on the top. And so you're going to pull for 1 second while you're contracting, and then you're going to relax. The reason we do this, and we're going to do it 5 times, but the reason we do this is because when you contract one muscle, it makes the opposite muscle relax. So when you contract this anterior tib, it's helping your body naturally relax your calf to be pulled back and be stretched. So we're going to do that each side 5 times. And if you're wondering what contracting that muscle feels like or is, it's that pulling your toes up towards you. So you're kind of helping what the rope is already naturally doing for you. And then the next one that we're going to do is our hamstrings. So again, you're going to wrap it around your foot and you're going to lay back and you're going to contract your quad and try to pull, and kind of your hip flexor, and kind of pull your foot up towards you naturally. And then you're going to have the rope to just pull that little bit extra for a second and then let it back down. And then the next one that we're going to do is we're going to do our adductors. So you're going to kind of do the same thing. You're going to be all these muscles over here on the side of your hip, you're gonna be contracting, and you're gonna be using them to pull your foot out to the side while you use the rope to help you just do a little bit extra. If you can't use 2 hands, that's fine. You're just gonna let it come out, and then you're gonna relax it. And then you're gonna do the other side. Okay. And then we're gonna do kneeling psoas. So you're gonna be here, and you're gonna be kneeling, and we're gonna be stretching all these muscles in the front of our hips. So you're gonna lunge forward, and you're gonna contract this glute muscle while you're pushing your hip forward, and you're gonna relax into it, and then you're gonna come out. You're just gonna do that 5 times. And then we're gonna do pretzel stretch. So pretzel stretch is where you sit with one leg like this, and you pull the other leg over top, so your foot's over top of this knee, keeping both your feet dorsiflexed. And you're just gonna put your elbow here, and you're gonna pull while pulling your knee towards you at the same time using your muscles, and then you're gonna relax. Okay, and the last one that we're gonna do is triceps. So you're just gonna be here, you're gonna reach up, and you're just gonna pull back, using your own muscles to reach down as far as you can, down your back, and using your hand to just give it a little extra push. Okay, so the next part of this is dynamic flexibility. So we do dynamic flexibility and not static flexibility because dynamic is the movement and static would be the standing still. So the static is what you think of as like the classic reach for your toes, crossover, hold the stretches, but you don't want to do a lot of that. You especially don't want to be holding longer than like 15-ish seconds when you do static stretching before you do activity, because if you do really hard static stretching before you do activity for long durations of time, it can actually decrease your power output. And the best thing to do is to be doing dynamic flexibility, and not in a way that you overly exert yourself and you hurt yourself, but because what you're about to be doing is movement and you're more flexible dynamically than you are statically. And so the first thing that we're gonna do is jumping jacks, just to kind of continue out the heart rate, pumping, just kind of get back into that feel. So we're gonna do 10 jumping jacks. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is leg swings. I'm going to use this chair to help support myself. And all you're doing with leg swings is you're just kicking straight up and back as high as you can, but don't go and kick as high as you can and pull your hamstring on the first one. You're just kind of here, you're lightly swinging. And you're gonna do 10 of these each side. And then you're gonna do side to side leg swings. So again, just something to hold on to. And you're gonna go One side to the other. Okay, the next one that we're gonna do is called Iron Cross and Scorpions. So what you're gonna do is you're going to lay down on the ground on your stomach for the first one, and you're gonna put your arms out to the side, just like this, and you're gonna do opposite foot to opposite hand. So my right foot is going to go towards my left hand, and you're just gonna go as far as you can. If you can only go this far, that's perfectly fine. You're just working on getting over there. So you're gonna go like this, as far as you can to that hand, and you're gonna keep your hands on the ground. It's okay if your shoulders roll a little bit. And then you're just gonna roll over, and you're gonna do the same thing on your back. So you're gonna be here on your back, and you're just gonna go opposite foot to opposite hand as far as you can, keeping your hands on the ground. So you're gonna take your right foot, go to your left hand, and vice versa. Okay, and the next one that we're gonna do is trail leg circles. So you're gonna be on all fours. You're gonna start with your right leg, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it out to the side with our knee, and we're just gonna circle it around. Just really getting this hip joint loosened up. So you're gonna bring it back, keeping your leg bent and your foot dorsiflexed. Don't point it and plantar flex it, keep it dorsiflexed. You're gonna come here, and you're just gonna circle around 10 times each leg. Okay, and the next one that we're gonna do is called leg whips. So again, you're gonna be on all fours, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna kick your leg back, and you're gonna kick it to the side, and then you're gonna bring it back in the exact same motion. So you're gonna be here, you're gonna go out, to the side, and back. Side, and back. 10 times. Okay, and the last one that we're gonna do is we're going to do something called split jumps. Now, split jumps are, again, just kind of trying to get us warm up, just like jumping jacks, but it's also a skill and coordination movement that we add into the warm up. So if you can't physically jump up into the air, that's fine. You can just do lunge exchanges. So what those exercises are is you're gonna be here with your feet slightly staggered. And if you're just doing a lunge, you don't need to go down very far. And even with the split jumps, you don't have to go down very far. We're just here. And then you can switch and do it again if you can't jump up in the air. Now, a split jump, all you're doing is you're taking your back leg, you're driving your knee up, and you're putting it right back. So that's what we're gonna do first. This would be the moderate level. So if this is the easy level, or even this is the easy level, this is kind of the moderate level. So you're here, and you're just driving your knee up and going right back into the same position. And you're staying dorsiflexed the whole time. Don't point your toes. Don't want anybody rolling their ankles. Plus you should be keeping your toes up when you run or make motions anyway. So you're here and you're just splitting. So that would be a moderate. And then you would do the other leg. Now, split jumps are where you do it continuously switching. So if you want to do the full split jump, work yourself up to that. You're here and you're straight foot, but then you're switching as you go. So it's just and you would do 10 of that total. So now we're going to be doing the activities part of the warm-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with some skills like butt kicks, A skips, B skips, straight leg bounds, and that's pretty much what we're going to do. So if you're not familiar with these, don't worry, I'm going to show them to you. But some of the biggest things right now that we're going to work on is that while we're doing these exercises, we want to be whole foot. So when I say that, I don't mean that I want you pounding the ground like this, but a lot of times shin splints come from people who are going toe and then collapsing to their heel, because when you get shin splints, before it becomes a stress fracture, it's all soft tissue stuff in the fascia around your shins. So a lot of times people who get shin splints are the ones doing the constant collapsing on hard surfaces, even surfaces as soft as tracks or even fields sometimes. But a lot of times basketball and volleyball players are getting them because of that constant collapsing down onto their heel motions, even in their warm-ups. So we're really going to be working on that. And then we're also going to do butt kicks as our first activity. So right now I'm going to show you what butt kicks should look like and what they should not look like and why. So butt kicks should never be where you're kicking backwards like this with your hamstring and then coming down into the ground. And there's a few reasons for that. What we see most people do when they hear butt kicks is they go like this. And that's helping nothing. One of the reasons it's helping nothing is because it's reinforcing bad running mechanics. So when we run, we should be coming up over our shins. So when you see people running and they are stepping over, this is proper running mechanics coming up over your shin. When you do butt kicks, you're reinforcing that your foot is moving down past your shin. And this constant pounding is what causes a lot of injuries, but then it's also what slows you down during running, and it's also what causes a lot of hamstring issues. So when you're here and you butt kick, you're reinforcing this motion, which is a stopping motion, and then to get going forwards again, the only option you have is for your hamstring to pull you along the ground. So when we do butt kicks, we want to reinforce good running mechanics where your foot is moving up over your shin. So what you're doing when you do butt kicks is you actually should be kicking the bottom of your butt, not the back of your butt. So this is the bad butt kicks. The good butt kicks, and the one that every athlete should be doing, are right here. And I don't know if you noticed it as I came by, but when I was running very whole foot for my warm-up. So even when you're sprinting, you are on the back ball of your foot, but you're in that position coming off your toes because your ankle is rigid. Being straight up and down, we still want that really rigid ankle with the toes pulled up, but there should be maybe a credit card that can slide under your heels. What kills me watching athletes when they do these workouts, or anybody when they do these exercises, is this. That motion causes so many injuries. So we're not going to do that. So the first one is butt kicks. So you can do butt kicks about 20 meters or about 60 feet, whichever one you can comprehend better. You're going to do butt kicks. And then the next one we're going to do is A skips. So all A skips are is you're here, you're driving your knee up, and you're just doing that for about 60 feet or about 20 meters, whichever one works better for you. And then the next one we're going to do is B skip. So if this is A skip, where you're coming up and down, B skip, you're letting your free leg fall. So you're not can girl kicking like this, but you're just letting it straighten. And you're actively pulling back into the ground with your hamstrings, just right underneath you. So again, 20 meters in place, 60 feet, that motion. The next one that we're gonna do is karaoke. So karaoke, what you're doing is you're crossing and you're driving this knee in front. So all you're doing is going behind, in front, behind, in front. And then once you can do it walking, you're gonna start doing it running. Just really warming up those adductor muscles. After you do that one, we're gonna do running with a skip. So there's different levels of running. I hate it when people say jogging, because a lot of times when people jog, they're using bad running mechanics. They're doing this thing, and their heels coming up towards their butt, and they're collapsing into their feet, and then they're getting plantar fasciitis, and they're getting shin splints, and then they want to stop running because they've been jogging incorrectly. When we jog, it's a little bit more difficult, but we should be dribbling over the ankle like this. So when you jog, you should still have that same running mechanic of your foot passing up through your shin, but there's different levels obviously up your legs. So when we jog, it's more of a dribble over the ankle, and then there's a dribble over the calf or the shin, and then there's a dribble over the knee, which would be like a full-out sprint. So when we're here, all we're doing is we're gonna do a little bit of a dribble over the ankle with a fast A skip. So you're just gonna be here. And that's all you're doing. And after you do that, in place, about 20 meters, 60 feet, whichever you choose, you're gonna do something called straight leg bounds. So straight leg bounds are working your glute muscles a lot. If your glutes are not tired after doing straight leg bounds, you probably didn't do them right. So what you're doing with straight leg bounds is you're keeping your legs straight and you're pulling your feet into the ground, but you're really activating your glutes to get you moving. So this is more of a shuffle, but you're here. And again, notice how my feet are still dorsiflexed, my legs are straight, and I'm not doing this. I'm not reaching towards the ground with my toes, but my toes are pulled up towards me, and I'm pulling. About full speed, if I just do it coming by with an actual bound, looks something like this. It's a very big and powerful motion. And then the last thing that you'd want to do before you go racing, working out, whatever it is you'd want to do about 3 accelerations. So you'd go about 90 feet or so, and you'd go like 70% effort, then like 80% effort, and then like 90% effort into your accelerations. If you don't want to do accelerations, you could also get back on your yoga mat inside, and you can do low-level bicycles for 10 seconds, fast as you possibly can, kind of blowout style. And you could do about 5 of those. And that would also kind of get that heart rate moving, legs rolling type of motion. Before we end really fast, I'm going to kind of clarify the running mechanics and give an example that might make this a little bit easier to understand. So what I'm talking about is when we run in actual mechanics, it's almost like we're running like there's a wall behind us, or like we're lying on the ground. So let me show you. So when we run and we're in this motion, this will be proper running mechanics. If you notice, my feet aren't going behind me at all, because they can't, because the ground's there. And so this is the type of motion that you have with the stepping over when you're actually running, and that dribble over the ankle versus the dribble over the calf versus dribbling over the knee that we were talking about in actual running mechanics. Thanks, you guys. Hope you enjoyed.